The H1B Guy here, and today, the H1B Guy news for the week ending March 12th, 2021. Today we'll cover Canada, top dog, Biden waiting to act, Department of State appointment updates, and IT employment increases in February. But before we get started, I'd like to ask you, if you haven't already, to please subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube and like this video so that I can continue to produce more content like this for you. I also wanted to mention the H1B Guy offers a variety of consulting services. I help businesses and individuals solve complex work authorization issues and the recruitment process while bringing awareness to employment-based immigration benefits. If I can help you, please reach out. I'd love to hear how. Today's news is brought to you by RecruiterNetworks.com, the smart solution for digital perm ads since 2001. The big news this week was the American Rescue Plan passing estimated to be worth $1.9 trillion. It feels like we are getting close to, what was normal just over a year ago. But we have to stay the course. And, this week felt like a lot of calm before the storm, as next week, it really is lining up to be a week full of immigration discussions in Congress. And so we're going to have a lot to talk about. But now, the news. March 6, 2021, in an article written by Daniel Tenser for Huffington Post Canada titled "Canada Unseats U.S. as Top Destination for People Moving for Work in BCG Survey." Quote, "Canada has replaced the U.S. as the most desirable location for migrants moving for work, and the change seems to be having everything to do with the COVID-19 pandemic." In a survey from Boston Consulting Group, respondents in 190 countries were most likely to pick Canada as a destination, while the U.S. was in second place. The U.S. had placed first and Canada third in BCG's previous surveys carried out in 2014 and 2018. The BCG survey found a notable shift in attitudes towards moving for work, while fewer people were willing to move to another country for a job. Around 50%, down from 57% in 2018. A large number liked the idea of working for a foreign employer from home. Some 57% said they'd be willing to work abroad from home, with people in the IT and digital fields most open to the idea. When the question is about virtual work for a foreign company, the U.S. returns to number one position, while Canada is tied for second with Australia. But the U.S. is now on a path to immigration reform, and with pandemic-related travel restrictions still in place well into 2021, many experts say it could be some time before regular migration patterns return. A February report from Royal Bank of Canada forecasts the country will only hit around 69% of its immigration target for the year, and only if things return to normal in the second half of 2021. The relatively weak branding of its cities notwithstanding, Canada has a broad appeal. The country is the number one work destination for many of the types of people the country prizes, including those with master's or PhD degrees, those with digital training or expertise, and those younger than 30. There's no doubt that Canada has become a premier destination for high-skilled immigrants. However, I'll continue to champion the United States as the number one destination in the world for high-skilled immigrants. The statistics for Canada's immigration targets over the next 12 to 24 months will be very telling of the residual impact felt from the tyranny experienced by immigrants during former President Trump's administration. The one thing that is indisputable is the climate difference. That's where Australia really wins the human capital arms race, and the U.S. comes in a close second. The irony in this article, however, is not found in the statistics from the survey, but the fact that the Huffington Post Canada was taken offline not long after this article was published. In my honest opinion, Canada and Australia are absolutely becoming more than just a plan B for global talent. March 8th, 2021, in a press statement written by Ned Price for the U.S. Department of State titled The Department's 45-Day Review Following the Revocation of Proclamations 9645 and 9983. Quote, the department explored every possible avenue under the law for providing relief to affected individuals. Those whose immigrant visa applications received a final refusal on or after January 2020 due to the proclamations may seek re-adjudication without resubmitting their application forms or paying any additional fees, provided the underlying visa petitions remain valid. Under current regulations, those whose immigrant visa applications were denied prior to January 2020 may also be reconsidered, but these individuals must submit new applications and pay a new application fee. Fiscal year 2017 through fiscal year 2020, diversity visa applicants who were not issued visas are statutorily barred from being issued visas based on their selection as diversity visa applicants in those fiscal years, as the deadlines for visa issuance in those fiscal years has expired. As the department works to serve affected applicants as quickly as possible, the health and safety of our workforce and customers remains paramount. The COVID-19 pandemic and the health safeguards it has necessitated continue to severely impact the number of visas our embassies and consulates abroad are able to process. Our team in Washington and around the world will continue to work tirelessly to find ways to increase the number of immigrant visa appointments and will continue to do so in the coming months. The Department of State is going to work tirelessly to increase the number of immigrant visa appointments. Do you believe them? The mess that was left for the new administration has proven to be quite a pile, and they continue to prop it up as an excuse. What's really unfathomable is to think about is what things would be like if there wasn't a change in leadership. I bring this release up to bring attention to the diversity visas from 2020 that were not issued will now be considered expired. I'm curious as to what they plan to do with the recapturing of those unused DVs. I'm hopeful that a return to normal is within our reach for consulate appointments. Nice to see the Department of State acknowledge their efforts to increase availability are so desperately needed. March 9th, 2021, in an article written by Anita Kumar for Politico titled Biden Yet to Act on Overturning Some of Trump Immigration Policies. Quote, since he took office, President Joe Biden has sworn to overhaul draconian Trump era policies, crafting a kinder, gentler immigration system where everyone from refugees to asylees to students to billionaire CEOs is welcome. There's just one problem. Despite the massive immigration package he introduced on day one and the flurry of executive orders that soon followed, Biden's policies have yet to catch up with his rhetoric. He hasn't named nominees to lead immigration and customs enforcement, customs and border protection, and citizenship and immigration services, leaving some staffers and immigration advocates concerned about the delay. But Biden has yet to address a series of issues. He punted on whether high-skilled workers should be given preference if they are being hired at companies paying more money instead of through a random lottery. He hasn't fulfilled a campaign promise to tackle the massive backlog at immigration courts that doubled under Trump. Even with the backlog, many of those cases were denied. We are nearing the first 2 months of President Biden's term. And as I previously warned you to expect a lot of the same as it relates to immigration with the focus on the undocumented. If you go back to August when the H1B Guy discusses presidential nominee Joe Biden's immigration policies, where the President Biden's campaign publicly acknowledged that he would work with Congress to address legal immigration reform. I warned you in December to expect a lot of the same, especially in the first 100 days when I covered the H1B Guy previews, more of the same, President-elect Biden's first 100 days in office for immigration. As my good friend Richard Allman from RecruiterNetworks.com has been saying that we're experiencing a thawing of the ice for immigration, I'm trying my best to remain patient. But when high-skilled immigration is apparently the lowest on the prioritization matrix, then I have a problem with that. The impact of not addressing legal immigration's problems can have on our society as a whole will be infinitely negative. March 10th, 2021, in a news release posted by Brittany Jones for TechServe Alliance titled IT Employment Almost Back to Pre-COVID Levels. Quote, in February, IT employment increased by 0.43% to 5,296,100 jobs, according to TechServe Alliance, the National Trade Association of the IT and Engineering Staffing and Solutions industry. On a year-over-year basis, IT employment has declined by 0.90% since February 2020, shedding 48,100 IT workers. Engineering employment grew by 0.12% sequentially to 2,582,700 on a year-over-year basis. Engineering employment decreased by 3.01% since February 2020, a loss of 80,200 engineering workers. With 7 consecutive months of strong growth, IT employment is less than 1% below pre-COVID levels, observed Mark Roberts, CEO of TechServe Alliance. While the economic fallout from COVID-19 temporarily reduced demand in some skill sets, strong job growth over the last few months highlights our chronic long-term problem, a talent shortage in IT. Unfortunately, there is no easy short-term fix to this perennial challenge. While the jobs report for February was up overall, IT employment increased by 0.43% month over month, and overall it has declined by 0.90% year over year. Engineering employment saw smaller increases month over month for February at 0.12% and a larger decrease year over year, again at 3.01%. The message from TechServe is the same as what I continue to say, and that's there is a talent shortage in IT and in STEM. Talent equals human capital. Add this with the article that I opened up with about Canada now being the #1 destination for those moving for work, and this continues to further prove that the war is on. Is anyone listening? This war is silent and borderless. Deciding who's going to win will take generations. To read the full post on the H1B Guy news for the week ending March 12th, 2021, please check out the h1bguy.com. Don't forget to sign up for the mailing list while you're there. A reminder that today's news was brought to you by RecruiterNetworks.com, the smart solution for digital perm ads since 2001. This national job board network provides recruitment websites in 1,024 major U.S. metro areas. Each local job board is its own portal and is a low-cost resource for immigration recruitment ads for all industries and professions with a flat price of $225 per ad, regardless of which city you choose. RecruiterNetworks.com has been the #1 place for immigration attorneys, immigration ad agencies, and employers to meet the DOL requirements for the digital portion of the perm advertisement rules. RecruiterNetworks.com. Tell them the H1B Guy sent you. Wanted to ask you again to like this video, subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube, and hit the bell for notifications so that you're notified anytime we post new content here to this channel. If you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I really appreciate your support. The H1B Guy, your global source for all things H1B.